Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for L2 Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Raising Kanan, Power Book 3. This is Season 3, Episode 8. I got to get through this quickly because the sun is going down. If I have to, I may have to switch over, and you'll just hear audio of me. I do apologize, but I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. Also, subscribe to my channel. You can share this video with your friends, and also leave your comments below what you have thought of this episode and this season. Next week is the season finale, and it looks hot. All right, so we start off with Lou. He's outside of Rock's home, and he's yelling and calling for Rock. He's drunk, of course, saying, "So who's next? I gotta kill." Rock ends up grabbing him and saying, "Get in the house before they hear you." And then he's like, "No, they need to know who you really are." So it was quite an interesting scene from Lou. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I really don't know. But next episode is kind of revealing as to what probably is going to happen to him. And I'm afraid. Marvin comes over and Rock fills him in on what's going on with Lou. Lou is kind of just more concentrating on, Marvin is more concentrating on Lou right now, but he's sleeping it off. But Rock is not really focused on that, and is basically saying that at this point, I need you to find out what Kanan and Ronnie are up to. And Marvin's like, "Well, I think he's on just selling a little reefer here." Nah, Ronnie wouldn't be on that. Rock goes into this speech about, "Look, I take responsibility for the decisions I make," and that's what Lou has to do. And she ended up saying, "Do you like what you see in the mirror these days? At this point, I had to face what I had to do and do what I had to do." And Marvin ended up saying, "Now I'm starting to like myself." Marvin has done quite an evolution in the last 3 years. And I'm like, dang, I'm so happy for him. And in his progression, I don't know what's going to happen, but there's going to be a default in the Thomas's family. I don't know. It's going to rock the foundation. As far as what I'm seeing for next week. And of course, Rock says, Lou doesn't. Rock ends up asking the mom to come over, Mama Thomas, to look after him and to talk to him. And basically, she does not like her family whatsoever, but definitely will come over for a fee. Rock had to give her some money. Later, whenever Lou came to himself, of course, the mom is very antagonistic. She's basically just saying all of these negative things towards him, and just really uncalled for. And I don't know what's wrong with Miss Thomas, but I don't like her whatsoever. What are your thoughts on her? Because it's just like she's got all this negative stuff to say about their dad, and it's just like, what's up? Do you love your children or not? Because you only come around when you need money, and you know what they do. But I don't know. What's up? What is up? Marvin ends up watching Kanan and Ronnie just to see what's going on. He gives this dude a package, and he gets on his moped. Marvin follows him. It ends up sideswiping him and knocking him off of his motorcycle or moped, whatever you want to call it. And he asks, "What is it that you're actually carrying?" And of course, the guy wasn't privy to actually give him that information, so he ends up opening up the book bag and finding out that it's heroin. Juke. It looks like Aisha's spending the night with Juke. I don't know if they actually started getting busy or not, or becoming a couple or dating or whatever. But Aisha's over trying to get her dance together. And of course, she's still not 100% confident, and Juke is still trying to encourage her and all that good stuff. Aisha notices Nicole in a picture. And of course, she knows that was her girlfriend, and she asked, "So you like white girls?" And Juke said, "I like girls. I like Nicole." Basically, Aisha, don't box yourself out of this whole equation with Juke. They talk a little bit about her because they were like, "Why did you guys break up?" "We didn't break up." She ended up dying. I think she said dying of an overdose. Let's see. So the next day, but they are practicing their routine, and the manager said, "Do we need to do it again?" And Juke stepped up and said, no, you're just going to get mad with us. So why don't, basically. And for whatever reason, the manager said, I like that. You took initiative and leadership, and you are going to be lead. And of course, Miss Diva herself got upset. So all she had to do was say that, and she was able to get to be lead. And the manager says, slow your horses, heifer. Not like that. I'm just adding that in. She's getting the lead because she's actually stepped up as to what I do respect. She said at any point, anybody could be replaced as lead. Right now, she's giving me what I want. You got to earn it daily. I said, okay, Miss Pebbles. Okay, so, of course, Crystal is with an attitude. She leaves up out of there. And soon to follow, the other girls come behind them. And Aisha said, look at you. You did what you had to do, blah, 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 blah. So when Juke and Aisha, they come outside, Crystal's already across the street. Aisha already eyes where Crystal is, and she's with Kanan. And then she gets Juke's attention, saying, hey, look what's going on. Looks like Kanan moves on really quick. And Juke was ready to go after them. But Aisha said, no, that's okay. And she said something in regards to, I got you. So there's nothing else that I need over there. I said, okay, Aisha, okay. Rock and Quan. Well, Rock did meet with the uncle of the cousins just to go over, this is going to be the deal. But he's got this, I don't want to say crazy, but I think that he's got some mental issues regarding whatever. Rock was just saying it's going to be a deal, I'll do these restaurants, and giving a percentage of what he can expect from her. And then the brother was chiming in saying that, no, it's not no deal. And I'm going to go tell my mother. And then he ends up running out of there upset. And Rock was like, oh, so your mother is going to be upset with what you have going on? And he said, no, our mother's been dead or unalived for a while. I forgot how many years. I think it was like 3 years or so. But he goes to someone, probably a medium, and keeps getting these messages from my mom, or he thinks it is, about different things. So later on, Rock had to meet with Kwam, and he puts her on notice that you got some competition out there that's trying to sell heroin too. And it doesn't look good, especially for, all that you're supposed to gain and give to me within the next couple months. And Rock said, I got it. Okay, so here was an interesting scene. All of a sudden, Detective Burke meets up with Nicole's dad. They put two and two together and connecting, Burke's dad, because he's talking about Shannon, because she's like, I don't believe that my girl would have handed your child drugs. And he said that I don't believe that either, but I was just told to put that basically to rest. And Detective said, from who? And then Detective Burke ended up guessing it was Howard, wasn't it? So obviously this thing is not going away with Detective Burke right now. So I don't know what's going to happen in the finale, but we shall see. So Marvin and Rock, they meet up together, and of course Lou left. Lou was left in the mom's care. Lou ended up leaving the mom because he wasn't going to study what she had to say. So Marvin lets Rock know that, and just basically said, F my mom and also F Lou. She didn't say my mom. She said F mom and F Lou. Marvin does let Rock know that it is heroin that they are selling. And Rock says, I have to make an example out of my son at this moment. Marvin thinks that they need to track down Lou. He needs us. And Rock's like, no, we need to keep the eyes on the prize. You're out here looking out for everyone else, but what about you? We got to get this money. I said, Lord, Rock. Well, Rock's on this timeline, and she can't deal with what she feels is feeble right now. I get her, but at the same time, what about family? Oof. All right, so Howard and the task dude, that's what I'm calling him. He probably got a name. he put Howard up on the FBI is targeting Marvin because they can put him in two places. I think when those guys last season, when Marvin murdered the girl, his ex-girlfriend, Tony, I think it was, murdered her and the dudes, and then also regarding the other dude earlier this season. But basically putting him on the up and up. Really looks like Howard's really in on the task force right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. Lou goes to, I think her name is Shelly, and tells her that he doesn't want to do the bar anymore. And he's sorry, and he ends up walking out. Later on, Famous comes by and looking for Lou. And of course, Shelly ends up saying that he's going to be out of commission for some weeks. And he asks, can I use the studio? She said, well, it's not really my equipment, and I can't really tell you what to do. I can't really allow you to do it. However, I'm sure that Lou would not mind, but nothing is for free. Why don't you help me around the bar? And Famous ended up saying, okay, cool. So I think eventually Famous is going to just tell all the business as to what has been going on with him, and I don't think it's going to work out for him, but we shall see. Crystal and Kanan, now that they not shacked up, but they got it on. She is after the afterglow of the sex. Does your cousin speak about me? And Kanan's like, nah, Juke and I aren't even speaking right now. Like, well, I don't want anything to come between us, or to come. Yeah, she only said become between us. She didn't even say between them. And Kanan said, that's all handled. So someone's knocking at the door. Guess who? It's the social worker. The social worker ended up saying that Rock told her that he's living down here. And Kanan said that's not the truth. I stay at my mom's and then sometimes I stay here. And the social worker said, you got 24 hours to return home or you're going to be placed under arrest. You'll be going to the boys' home. There's a twist coming up later on. Rock and goes and visits Snap and Pop. And basically says, stay away from my son. She questions him about, how far are you in business with my son? And they're trying to deny nothing. They're more in business with Ronnie. We're not doing anything. So once Rock says, stay away from my son, then Snap and Pop, they rise up and said, you know what? We were the forefathers to what you're doing now. We paved the way for what you're doing. You're wearing your Gucci and cashmere stuff and got your hair laid and all that. That's because of us. Da, 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 da. And basically Rock reinforced and said, no, stay the F away from my son. So Pop ended up saying, really, do you think that we should just lay off? Is it really worth being with Ronnie and Kanan? And basically Snap said, yeah, because now it's personal. When she came up in here, I said, Lord, what's going to happen? All right, so it's nighttime, and Lou, it looks like he's in some type of alley, and some robbers are trying to rob him at knife point. And Lou says, come on, take your best shot. And basically he just takes out his gun, and then they run off. But it looks like the gun impact ended up making him fall over because he's drunk. So Ronnie and Kanan pull up to wherever the social worker is working at. And Ronnie does his good intimidation thing. Ronnie comes back and says, she won't be bothering you anymore. I said, Lord. All right, so Juke is on her way to practice. She's about to get on the subway, and these two girls jump her. And first they were taking her, and then Juke handled her business. They pulled out a knife, and then we went away from the scene, thinking that Juke was going to be like they were going to handle her. Next thing you know, in the next scene, practice is about to start. The manager's like, where is Juke? Now Naisha said, I'm sure she's on her way, blah, 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 blah. Juke comes in the door. And she said, sorry, I'm late. She said she gave an excuse or whatever. So then she walks up to Crystal, who's all shocked because she just knew everything was taken care of. Basically saying, I see you for who you are. And I want to let you know, just like your friends, y'all ain't ish. I said, Lord, go ahead, Juke. Give it to her. So I don't know what's going to happen in this girl group, but obviously it's about to go down. All right, so Rock goes and visits Pernessa. That's Unique's girlfriend. She said, look, we had a little tussle, whatever, but I got nothing against you, whatever, but I do need your help. Who is Ronnie working with? Who is Ronnie getting his supply from? She's like, I don't know, and I don't want to be involved and all that. You know, I got to protect my son. And Rock says, I'm trying to protect my son too, blah, 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 blah. And she ends up saying, it looks like Ronnie's dating a girl. Dating who? She's dating the bodega girl. And then that's when it clicks, and Rock said, that's how he's getting his supply. That's where he's getting his supply from. So Rock goes and visits Joaquin, the cousin of Juliana, and tells him what's going on. And really, she's different. She's doing stuff behind your back, and I got to take her out. Joaquin said, let me check some things out beforehand. And Rock said, you know, you go on to do what you do. I got to do what I got to do so I can go on to do what I got to do. Are you ready? So Gerald and Marvin, they meet up. Gerald is asking very weird questions at this moment. He starts being the investigative reporter and saying, well, I know that Juke was a part of Bulletproof Records. And aren't they really tied with the mafia and all that? And Marvin's like, well, where are you getting this information and why are you asking these questions? That has nothing to do with what she's doing now, blah, 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 blah. Basically, Marvin said, stay in your place. He ended up saying, telling a message to the nieces, hey, you know, color within the lines. And that's what your dad needs to do too. So we're going to learn something that I was doubting, but I kept seeing it on the timeline forever. I should have listened, but I was like, no, that can't be true. Juke goes to the army guy. It basically says, what if I want to back out of it? It basically says, no, you made an oath and you got to be a part of it. And she's basically just asking a question, and she doesn't know if she's going to back out, but she would like to know if there's options. Basically, no, you don't. All right, so then we find out from Mr. Gerald. Gerald has been working with the FBI. The FBI says to tell them something good about Marvin, or you're going to be in Sing Sing. So you know when you start putting this pressure and these ultimatums, guess what's going to happen? Gerald is going to crack. So I don't know what he knows and what he's going to tell him, but obviously this is about to go down. Now, when Marvin finds out, what's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to them girls? I don't know. So we end the episode. The ending scene is at Juliana's home. And guess who's there? Rock. Rock is there to just let her know, I know what's going on. You're with Ronnie. And I make my mistake. I learn from my mistakes. And I'm here to correct every one of my mistakes that I've made. Or at least what I can correct. And for the life of me, I will never understand why Julia turned on Rock the way that she did. I mean, she freed you from your abuser. But for some reason, it wasn't enough for you. And you ended up double-crossing her for whatever reason. I don't know. So first, Rock shoots her in the leg because she's like, I'm going to call my cousin. He's like, he already knows what's up. And he knows what type of woman that you are. So then she ends up finishing the job. So bye, Miss Bodega Girl. So I think two things could happen, or possibility that could happen this season finale that's coming up next week. Something is either going to happen to Lou or Marvin, or it's going to happen to both of them. But something that's going to change the course of the Thomas family. But what are your predictions of what's going to happen? Because it looks like Lou's about to get killed. I don't know what's going to happen. But somebody's going to have to pay the price for the stuff that's happened because the FBI is in it. So I enjoyed this episode and can't wait till next week's episode. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you for coming and thank you for giving me a view and giving me that like. Also leave your comments below, and until the next one, peace.